Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Dean. Dean's from Ottawa in Canada. So let's see what Dean has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Dean. Sure. How are
Excellent.
you, Dean?
Good. How are you, William?
I'm very well, thanks so much. Okay, Dean, so just before we start the game, just tell me where are you from?
So I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada.
Right. All right, and tell me what you like the most about your city.
You know what? The best thing about Ottawa, I've only lived here for about 5 years. So Ottawa's a great city. It's a politically driven city, but it's very friendly. So it's got a big feel with a small city attitude. Very friendly, clean, open, loving, and accepting of a lot of people, right? So we're a huge melting pot. Ottawa's become pretty big. It's not Toronto or Montreal, but it has the same feeling.
Right, and what's the most challenging part, in your opinion?
Of Ottawa, I think traffic. But since COVID hit, traffic has died down quite a bit. But the commute into work used to be killer, right? So.
Right, and also, as I mentioned before, my best friend, he lives in Montreal. Last time I've been to Canada twice. And
Okay.
the first time when I went to Canada, I was exploring more Toronto and around there, Niagara Falls. But last time, I think it was 2 years ago, I visited for the very first time Ottawa, and it was beautiful, it was amazing.
It is. It has a very European feeling to it, especially on Parliament Hill.
Right, I understand. And so if you just can tell me about, as I was checking your profile a little bit as well, and you say about this unique supplement that you create for guys over 30 to help them. So can you tell me a little bit about it, or?
Sure. So on my TikTok platform, actually, I have a lot of platforms. TikTok is the one that's really blown up lately, and it's blowing up my Instagram as well too. I used to weigh 365 pounds. I was a big boy, never went to the gym, never had any motivation to do so. I then had weight loss surgery, which is a tool. It's not a magic fix. You still have to work at it. And at 40, I thought, you know what? I need to do something to get myself to the best shape possible. So at 44, 45, I decided to hit the gym. Luckily for me, I'm very privileged to have a state-of-the-art gym in my house. So I said, it's sitting there doing nothing, right? So I went down, and then getting supplements for men in their 40s is hard, especially in their 30s as well too, to bulk up. So I sat down and I looked for platforms, to try and give me that edge. I found the edge. So I sat down with this company, developed a combination of products. I named my company bearbeast.com. And then I came up with a series after research of products, and it has helped actually to get me where I want to get to. So now I want to help other men and women, but mostly men, because we have a harder time with the testosterone.
Very good. Right. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life?
Yeah, let's go.
Amazing. So welcome to William the Magic Box. So I'm just gonna play some music now, just for us to get a bit in the mood before
Sure.
the first question. Okay, let's do it. Hope you like it. Okay, team, ready for the first question?
Of course, we have to stop. Go ahead.
Let's do it. Right. What is the strangest gift have you ever received?
The strangest, oh my God, someone's underwear. A long time ago, sorry if this is to be PG, but it was a set of underwear that I didn't expect to get in the mail. It came in a really nice Tupperware container that I'm sure his mother still is looking for, but it was underwear.
It was a best friend gift or just a random person?
It was a randomo, actually.
Ooh, I'm not gonna go into details, okay?
No, we'll stop there.
Right, let's get another question for you.
All right.
Next question for you. Which season of the year you feel more connected with, and why?
So, fall. And the reason why is I think I enjoy getting out more in the fall. The smell reminds me of my childhood. Unfortunately, it takes us into winter, and here in Canada, our winters are brutal. But fall is actually the season I'm connected the most to, actually.
I'll tell you something. Is your birthday at around the same time as fall as well?
No, I'll be 46 in April, so it's coming up.
I'm just saying that because fall is my favorite season of the year, always been. And somebody told me once that when you're born, the season you're born, you feel more connected with. And for me, it works well because my birthday is in November. So for me, it works really well. And I've been living in Europe for the last 15 years. And I was living, actually, no, just in London 15. I was living in Portugal before. So almost 20 years. I'm from Brazil. And since I arrived in Europe, I just love the autumn. It's like the fall. It's my favorite season ever. I just love it.
It is. It smells the best.
Yes, and the colors as well. The colors around the tree is just the best.
100%.
Another question. Let's do it.
Another question. Let's go.
Right, just before the next question, in your opinion, what's the biggest difference between the French side and the American side of Canada? Let's say like Montreal and Toronto.
So Montreal and Toronto. So Montreal is, surprisingly very Italian and English, depending on what sector's in it. I do travel into Montreal quite a bit, but I go to the Middle Eastern section. My partner's Lebanese. So the French-Canadian side of it is fantastic in Montreal. I have a lot of friends there. Here in Ottawa and Ontario, a little bit different. The culture is different actually as well too. A lot of good cuisine in Montreal. So if I could say that would be the deciding factor of the French and English would be the cuisine part. English people are a lot of fun. French people in Montreal, you can't go wrong.
And you grew up in the French side?
You know what? I grew up in a little community called Sudbury, and it's in Northern Ontario. It's a mining community. So I grew up in a little town outside of Sudbury, but it is a very bilingual community. My first official language is French. So I do speak French quite a bit. Here at home, we speak French. My partner speaks Arabic to his kids and family, but French is an official language.
Great. Next question for you is, tell me something that you won and how did you win it? Something special.
Something special. $10,000. So, yes. So I was coming home from a business trip. I flew into Ottawa. My partner picked me up and said, hey, it's Halloween night. This is a couple years ago. Let's go to the casino. I said, okay, let's go. I was hungry, so I thought, we'll have a nice meal. And I just landed as well. So we get to the casino and he's playing and I enjoy watching and I enjoy people watching. So he's like, here's your Halloween gift. It's $100. Go play. And I'm like, no, it's all good. I don't need it. He's like, no, take it. If you win something, just give me the $100 back. I said, okay. So I sat down on the machine and it was $2 a spin. I was $50 in and I hit $10,000.
Oh my.
So it was a good hit, a good gift.
And you just gave back to him 100 or gave more?
No, I actually wanted to give back the whole thing. But he's like, no, here we go. You just give me back the 100. So guilt set in, but I just brought a new car before that. So I got everything from my car, wheels, winter tires, all the mats I needed. So it came into good use.
Amazing. I love that. Amazing. Another question.
Okay.
Next question for you is, tell me something that made you laugh this week or this month. Something special.
Something that made me laugh this week or this month. You know what? I'm always laughing, right? So I find that there's a lot of things on TikTok that make me laugh lately. So I do have good laughs on there. It's a great community. It's a great platform for people to laugh. But just yesterday, I had a really good laugh with an individual. I don't know how rated your show is, if it's R-rated PG, but he did let out a swear during it, but it was one of the best things I've heard in a long time, and I laughed for hours over it. And it was probably the most silliest thing, but to me, I guess I needed that at the moment, right? So it resonated strongly. And I still look at it to laugh. I just did before this call, actually.
Great. I enjoyed the show so far, Dean.
Amazing, and I've watched a few of yours. Fantastic. You're onto something. You are very onto something.
Thanks so much. Appreciate. Another question.
Another question.
before the next question, tell me a little bit how is being gay in Ottawa? How is the gay community over there?
So the gay community in Ottawa, I'm not familiar with. We do have a lot of gay friends here, a handful. I have more in Montreal. But to be honest, I grew up in a little community. Even in my job, I've never ever faced any adversity with being a gay male here in Canada whatsoever. On any of my social media platforms, never have I ever experienced any hate towards being gay. I think Canada is very much open-minded towards gay people, and I think we led the way, especially with our current Prime Minister, in moving gay rights forward, including transgendered rights and human rights for that matter. So it's amazing here. Montreal, a different story. You go there and you're in a melting pot of just people. And I don't know if you've noticed yourself, but even when you go somewhere like Toronto, to the gay village in Toronto, they're dying off the gay villages. And you look at the people who forged the way for us as gay individuals in today's modern society, they are having a hard time letting go of the villages. But now society is becoming more integrated and accepting. So you don't need a gay bar anymore. You go to a regular bar and you see two men holding hands, or two women. I think that society is moving towards the right direction now, and I think that we do need to celebrate our celebrities too that are moving it that way, and our world leaders as well. We have really good world leaders leading the platforms.
Very good. It's interesting you saying that, because my best friend, he lives in Canada. He's straight. He's not gay. And I remember going out. We've been out some bars, and as you're right, I've seen how many gay guys around. They were so free and so open, and it was like, oh, it's a good vibe. It was a good vibe to see around that gay community, for sure. Next question is, would you ever get a tattoo, and what that would be?
Would I ever? I'm tattooed up. So I love tattoos. They're probably the most expensive addiction that I have. This one still needs to be done, but I have 3 so far. Pieces of art, bigger pieces of art. I love them. I think tattoos are very attractive. I expose my arms at work, and I have a high profile job, so I expose my arms. I don't care anymore. And as part of tattooing your body is part of my culture as well too. I'm Indigenous. So in our culture, tribal art and war paint and that kind of stuff is part of who we are. So I'm not shy to display it.
And how old were you when you had the first one?
16.
Wow.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? I was 16 and I asked my mom, I said, can I get a tattoo? And she's like, you know what? You want one? I'll pay for it. My mom was a very cool mother. So she took me to get this tattoo, and I chose Yosemite Sam of all things. I don't know if you remember that cartoon. I think he's from Looney Tunes with the red mustache. Just his head on my thigh, which is the dumbest thing ever. But you know what? I look at it and it still brings back memories.
That's great. That's good. You have siblings as well?
I do have siblings. I have one brother, a younger brother.
And so you always had the support of your family as being gay? Always?
100%. Never have I ever. The only person I may have found a little bit of adversity from was my own brother, actually. But he was I come from a community where they're miners, manly men, hunters. My brother had a bit of an issue in the beginning, but now it's, there's no issue there.
Good, great. Another question.
Let's go.
Okay, Dean, next question for you is, what's the most romantic thing someone ever done to you?
The most romantic thing someone's ever done to me, I would have to say it is my current partner, who one day said to me, I was in the process of moving up ranks in my organization where I work, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do something for you. We just started dating. He's like, I want to get you to where you need to get to. So I thought, okay. Anyways, he took me on a shopping spree to a very expensive Ottawa store. So expensive that when the clothes were coming into the dressing room, a t-shirt was like $800, and I kept saying, oh no, doesn't fit. But anyways, he took me, I felt like Pretty Woman, took me on a shopping spree. We had a personal shopper. It was fantastic. It was a very good, probably the most romantic thing anybody has ever done for me, and he kept it a secret up until we got there. So that's one of the romantic things that's ever happened to me.
Very good. How long have you been together for?
5 years next month. We met on my birthday.
Wow, very good.
Yeah.
Other question. Let's do it, dear.
No.
The question. What do you like the most in your best friends?
What do I like the most? Well, you know what? I have a lot of best friends, but I have a best friend who I'm in love with, not in the romantic sense, but someone I fell in love with right away. And he's Arabic, and he's just kind, open-hearted, loving, down to earth, accepting. He's Muslim, so a Muslim and a gay guy, you know, in a lot of people's eyes, and he does talk about it with his work to a lot of people. Publicly. So we have a very good relationship. So I think that his kindness, his generosity, and his acceptance, and the fact that we don't have those discussions about religion, we don't have the discussions about me being gay and him being Muslim. It's an understanding that we both come to, but the love is very mutual.
Very good. I think best friends, you don't choose it. You just have a naturally, isn't it?
Correct.
For sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the question for you, Dean.
Sure.
So easy answering questions. My God, it's just like one after
There we go.
Next one is, what would be your ideal day?
What would be my ideal date or day?
Day.
My ideal day would be waking up in the morning, you know, obviously having my cup of coffee, enjoying probably the warmth of outside, so having a coffee outside, coming back in, doing my regular workout routine, working on my company, visiting a lot of my friends on my social media platforms. So that would be my perfect day. A nice meal, nice lunch, maybe perhaps a walk or taking a drive in the car. That is something that resonates with me a lot. So that's an ideal day.
Are you most of a day person or night person?
I love my mornings. So at nighttime, I don't know, as you get older, I can't stay up late. So 9 o'clock, I'm like The Walking Dead at 9 p.m. So, but I'm more of a day person.
Great. Another one. Let's do it.
Another one.
Right. Next question for you is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
I would like to be remembered as someone who is caring, very generous, loving. That's how I'd like to be remembered. I think we all have unconscious biases, and we all have different edges to ourselves, but I can honestly say that I think I'm someone who, I would never hurt a fly. I try not to hurt people. And if I do hurt them unintentionally, it bothers me for a long time. I guess it's a codependency that I have. But I want to be remembered as someone who is kind, loving, and helping for others.
Very good. Another one.
In it.
Next question for you is, if you could make up a school subject, what that would be and why?
A school subject?
Yeah.
If I could make up a school subject, I think it would be on humility and how to be humble. Humble is part of our teachings and my culture, to be humble to yourself and to one another. So I think that we need to teach our kids how to be a little bit more humble. And I try to teach my stepkids, I have 2 stepkids, even chivalry around opening up the door for an elderly person, or let the elder go in first, or don't cut in line, or always thank a person. I think humility is something that's lacking, and I know for a fact that once you understand exactly what it is and what truly means to be humble, then you can put it out to the world at that point. So humility is something that really needs to be taught. We don't teach kids that in school. And parents have a hard time teaching humility themselves as well. I think we all have it. We just need to really dig for it at times.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Right, another one. just before the next question, as you say about your own company, so far, what has been the most challenging parts since you've been working on your own company?
I think patience. And there's my expectations were really high about this because I reached out to people to do my branding. Then I reached out to people to actually produce my product. And it just seems that I've faced a lot of hurdles coming through. My website should have been up and running by now, but the product that they sent me didn't have the right labels on it. The clothing that I got made wasn't up to my standard, and they didn't reach out to me to say, listen, there's a problem with production. They just sent me the stuff. So I kind of think I felt that there's been a few hurdles so far. Most of it's around production, and I'm having a hard time dealing with that. And I know that, when you're faced with that kind of adversity and you overcome it, it's just going to get better, and it has. So it's just a matter of me being patient, allowing the universe to take control and things to move the way they need to move, and me not rushing it through. So I'm a very impatient person when it comes to that. I want to get out there. You have no idea. People are sending me messages constantly. Help me. What product are you using? Can I get the product? So I'm just chomping at the bit, I guess.
I totally know what you mean, because I'm very impatient as well. And I learned, so I've been trying to learn, that's not just up to us. We need to, as I said about the universe, we need to let the universe as well, things need to work together, because if you try to rush things, not gonna get anywhere. So we need to be more calm, you just get things slowly. Let everything does this job as well, not just us. I don't know what you mean, totally know.
Absolutely.
Right, tell us about your guilt pleasure.
My guilty, wow, these are great questions. Okay, so this is somebody just asked me this in one of my lives the other day. I do hot tub time machine where I take a lot of lives from my hot tub, right? I was gonna actually take this call from the hot tub actually to go with my theme, but I thought I didn't know if I should. Anyways.
You'll be amazing.
Next one, we'll do another one. My guilty pleasure would have to be Scientology. I'm not a Scientologist, but I'm just fascinated with everything about Scientology and how people can get so involved in Scientology and I guess believe in that kind of stuff. And I'm not judging or putting past any judgment on anybody, but I read a lot of books, especially from Leah Remini and people who have been in Scientology, and I followed it for the longest time. So I'm kind of obsessed with the actual component of it, but not the religion of it. It's crazy.
But why you say that it's a guilt pleasure? Why?
Because I don't want to be mistaken as for a Scientologist. And not that, I don't want Tom Cruise knocking at my door or anything. Maybe I do, but I don't I don't want to be labeled the Scientologist. And I know that may sound mean or inconsiderate. That's why it's a guilty pleasure, because I'm obsessed with it.
Right? Cool. I've got 3 questions left for you, okay?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Right, before the next question, tell me a little bit about this. It's a podcast, on the hot tub. Tell me a little bit about it.
So I called it the hot tub time machine.
Okay.
So I have right now I'm up to almost 9,000 followers. I just started last month. And I never thought I'd get to this point, but I said, I have a lot to share, and people like my comedy, they like my sense of humor, and they just want to talk. So I decided, I'm going to do my first live from the hot tub, and I was going to call it Hot Tub Time Machine, and it took off. So I just get in the hot tub, I set up my camera, I have my ring light because it's mostly at nighttime when I do it, and the questions I get asked are unbelievable. So it is a lot of time. A lot of it's about relationships, questions on sexuality, on sex, to even basic questions like, what are your pronouns? That's the biggest thing right now. But people just want to talk. And I think that's TikTok has given people this platform to be themselves and to reach out to normal people, whether we're influencers or not on a social platform. They do see us on a different level. But we are human, helping humans. It's fantastic. It is probably the best form of camaraderie that I've ever come across, and I'm very happy to be on that platform.
So you go live on TikTok,
Yeah.
how like once a week? What's the schedule?
Almost every night. Tonight it's at 7:30.
7:30, Ottawa, Canada. And
Yes.
so you just go live and you go live with people and you start asking questions.
People start coming on to my lives. I have regulars that come on as well and ask me questions, or we just talk. They want to know about my life. They want to know about my partner. Do I have kids? Just basic questions. It's getting to the point now, as I'm gaining with momentum in my followers and getting out there, a lot of people want just shout outs. You know, can you give a shout out to my sister? Can you give a shout out to me? So it's a lot of fun just being with people. And then just this morning, I opened up my questions and answers on TikTok. So I'm excited to see what's going to come in from there.
Amazing. I'm not on TikTok yet. I didn't get this word yet, but I'm really considering to get into it because it's so popular right now. And I think, as you said, about giving the opportunity for people, you know, to express themselves and just be themselves as well. And it's funny you saying that, Dean, because sometimes when I approach people the same way as I approached you online, some people, they say like, it's very interesting. People go like, but why are you going to interview me? That's I'm not like, they say, oh, I have a boring life, or I'm not famous, or this, that. And I was like, oh my God, everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has something interesting. And that's all about the show as well. In the Magic Box, it's about people spreading out their experience in life and connect with other people worldwide. You know what I mean? And when people say that, I go like, oh my God, how interesting people, they put themselves, like they express themselves this way, like, oh, I have a boring life, I'm not famous, I'm not this, I'm not that. It doesn't matter, you know, you have something interesting to say or to tell or to share, and I'm sure people are going to connect with you. It's very interesting to say that.
Absolutely.
Next question for you is, tell us something interesting about yourself. If you still have anything else, you've said so much so far.
Something interesting, you know what? Something stupid actually. I have this fascination with coffee pots. You hear people that want to collect vacuum cleaners. Well, I like coffee pots for some reason. I don't know, it's because I love coffee, and that's probably the most interesting, not most interesting, but something unique about me, perhaps.
Cool, I take that. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Tell you something now. As soon as I get TikTok, I'm gonna find you there, and I would like to see your podcast. That's for sure.
There we go.
To see it out. Right. Next question is, what does love mean to you?
You know, it wasn't until I met my current partner where he actually showed me what real love is all about. And he alluded it to a bird in the hand. So if you hold the bird in your hand, you close it, that bird can't fly. But the moment you open your hand, that bird is free to fly. So we have a very respectful, mutual relationship that is, people say, are you in an open relationship? We aren't in an open relationship, but I'm free to do what I want. I'm not going to be held back from doing things. So that to me is what love is all about, is allowing your partner to be who they are without putting restrictions on them. You know, let them be free to explore, even if it's about their sexuality. Let them be free to do it. Why should we hold people back from being who they truly are and things that they want? I mean, love too also tells you through love, you also tell your partner, you know, I don't think you're going down the right path with doing that, or, you know, being able to set those healthy boundaries that are to protect the other individual, not to hold them back from their own freedoms. So that is what love is all about.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Ready for the last one?
I am.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Get this done.
Right. The last question is, if someone offered you to tell your future, would you accept it or not, and why?
I would accept it. And the reason why I would accept it is not to make the changes, but because I have that control issue, I would want to be able to foreshadow it. So I knew that in 2 weeks from now, I'd get a flat tire, or 3 weeks from now, somebody close to me would pass away. So yes, 100% I'd love to know. You know, and I think it's for selfish reasons as well too. Not to change it or alter it. You don't want to alter the future because it also alters the past, right? So yes, I'm in. If you can tell me, let me know.
And if someone would offer you if someone would give you an envelope, yeah, with your death date inside, would you open it or not?
100% I'd open it, and I'd plan a party the night before. We'd all have a great party, and yeah, of course I'd open that envelope.
Very good, very good. Right, so let's play now the quick thinking game, okay? So I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell one word related to this one comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
You're gonna be very easy, so easy answer questions, so not be a problem, that's all. Let's start with religion.
No.
Love.
Oh, amazing.
Money.
Evil.
Family.
Everything.
Life.
Amazing.
Sex.
Perfection.
Politics.
I love it.
Fear.
A lot.
Friendship.
Oh, good. You stumped me there. Friendship. Everything.
Desire.
Lust.
Regrets.
None.
Success.
Everything.
Happiness.
My life.
Wish.
Too many.
Ottawa.
The best.
Canada.
Home.
And if I say Bear Beats, what comes to your mind? One word.
Helping. Success.
Okay, cool. Right, so let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend, and I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me the most beautiful thing about Dim, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on. What do you think your best friend will tell me?
It's funny because we have this conversation all the time. My best friend would tell you that I'm probably the most giving person that he's ever met. And something that I need to work on is a little bit more of my self-esteem.
Interesting. You come across a very confident person.
I am, but you know, we all have that one side of us, right?
And if I would ask the same question to your partner, what he'll tell me?
Exactly the same thing, because they talk a lot.
Great answer. Right, let's play now. Dim and the magic box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Okay, Dim, you can ask me a question now.
Yes. So my question to you would be, and it's probably a question you've heard before, but it's one that I love to ask people, is if you could sit down with anyone, past, present, who's either been here or who has passed on, who would that be and why?
If I could sit down with this person just to have a chat?
And have a discussion with them. You only have one chance, and they can either be living or have passed on.
Right. The first person that stick to my head was my grandmother. And I'll tell you why. She passed away a few years ago, and we were very connected. And for two reasons. First, actually, good question. I've done already over 300 people worldwide, and no one asked this question yet. Good one. Right, so my grandmother, I'll never forget that thing. She told me once, I think I was 7 years old, more or less, 7 years old. I remember sitting down with her, we were in the farm together. I never forget that day. And we were just talking, and she came up to me and said, she called my son, said, my son, look, I would like to tell you something for you to never forget. And she said to me, every day when you go to bed, and every day when you wake up, you just do something very simple and very powerful. When you go to bed, always be thankful for everything that happened to you, everything that you've been through in your life. And when you wake up, you do the same thing as well, but first you just ask to be protected, ask to people to be people around you, friends, family, everyone to be protected, and ask protection for yourself as well. And she said, believe me, nothing's gonna happen to you. You're gonna go through tough times, of course, everyone does, but you're gonna be always protected. And guess what, Dean? Guess what? Since that day until now, and I'll die doing that every morning. I have this little ritual with me, and it's so powerful because as soon as before I wake up, like take like 5 seconds, I just have this moment with myself, you know, like thankful to everything I have, and I just ask to be protected, not just me but people around me, family as well, everyone. And believe me, it's powerful. Nothing gets to you. Like, it's so powerful that you can believe. And And answer to your question, why I would have this, I got goosebumps now. Why I would have this again, if I could have this conversation with her, just to tell her that I'm so thankful and I always will be for this little lesson that she taught me at the time, and it's one of the most powerful things I ever learned in my life.
Amazing. And it's a lesson too now that you passed down to me, and a lot of it comes even from my culture as well too, right? It's our elders that teach us those same things. That little moment of I think that you're not asking for much. It's just let my day be okay, and let those around me be okay as well too, to whomever.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna share something personal as well, because you asked me this question. When she passed away, I was already living in London, so I couldn't go to Brazil. And I remember my mom was by her side for the last hours and days. She was in the hospital bed for a while, like for a few days before she passed away. And one point, the doctor said, okay, she cannot express herself anymore. She's literally just like, she can hear still, but she cannot do anything, nothing else. And so I called her, I called her and I said, Mom, just put the phone close to her ear, just for me to say goodbye, to say hello. Guess what? My mom started crying because her tears started coming through her eyes just to listen to my voice. So I'll never forget that, because my mom said, my God, my mom was there for hours and hours, days, just like talking to her, and she didn't have any reaction at all. But as soon as she heard my voice over the phone, my mom said, oh my God, her tears started coming out from her ears, her eyes. So it's something that's, it's so like beautiful and powerful that, I would never forget that little moment, that talk I had with her when I was 7 years old. I never forget that, because I think, as I told you before, was something very powerful. And that's what I bring into my life, whatever, have that.
Wow, you just gave me goosebumps. That's amazing. What a gift.
I know, yeah. And to be honest to you, she was a very simple person, not Brazilian, actually. She's from Paraguay, actually. And she moved to Brazil when she was 12 years old, very early, very young age, and she grew up in Brazil. And for some reason or another, we've always been very connected. And she never had like education, she never been able, but she always, I remember when I was visiting her, she was sitting with me, she was talking about her life when she was young and everything. So I always had a lot of stories. I remember a lot of stories she was telling me. And it's just like those things, again, about friendship, just those people that come to your life, they're connected somehow through family or through friendship, and they're always part of your life and always will be. So that's a good thing. Wow, very good question. You made me go through a very special moment in my life. Beautiful.
There we go.
Did you have a good time?
I did, actually. This is fantastic. What a great platform. Thanks for reaching out. It gives me an opportunity as well too to tell my story and to showcase who I am and what my platform is all about as well too.
Totally. And it's the whole thing of the game is just for you to connect with other people as well. And I'm sure when this interview goes live, I'm sure people are going to connect with you as well. They're going to go like, I know what he meant. I agree with him. So, people, we are sharing the experience in life. That's what life is about. That's for sure. Dean, but just before you go, I would like you to share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires you.
You know what? It was my grandmother at one time when my parents split up. I was young. She's Indigenous, my grandmother, and she said to me, I asked her, I said, Mamere, I called her Mamere. I said, it's hard for me to, it was my dad's mother, by the way. I said, it's hard for me to, when I see my mom in the same room as my stepmother, because I was young when this happened, back in 2002, I said, it's really hard. Who do I choose? And, what side of the family do I go to? And she just said simple things, typical Indigenous woman. She goes, at times, we must remove ourselves from the picture, but it's important that we stay within the frame. And in my culture, we tend to walk away and I'm like, what the heck does she mean by that? But there's not one day that goes by where I use that same thing. If I'm having a shitty day at work, I'll use it. If I'm having a hard time in my relationship or something's happening and you choose who you want to be with, it's a perfect mantra.
Amazing. Okay, this was a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So kind and sweet. And straight away when I approached you online, you were very kind and sweet. Said, yes, I'm gonna do it. That was amazing, sweet.
Yeah, William, take care and stay safe.
Take care. All the best.
Bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, First, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.